are a wondrous boy, then sing along with me. We are the Eagles on the road to victory. All for one and one for all, we'll answer to the call. We're the greatest team of all. Go, the wonder is forever. We will always stick together. We will always do our best to see it through for the good old road and blue.
G'day and welcome to Shred at the Shed, massive podcast today. Let's get into the sponsors who provide us support throughout the season. BMD, ALPA, SLR, MBS, CFS Gear, DTA Contractors, Hardy Aviation, Sandrin Property Group, Silks Darwin, Air Raid Records, Lawrence Air, Pritchard Francis, City Tyre Service, C-Link NT, Elders Insurance Darwin, Bendigo Banks, Finlayson's Lawyers. Let's get into the round 5 match review. We had Palmerston, Friday night footy, prime time, 28th of October at 8 p.m. Latest game I've ever played, we were at Kazali's away. It was a super hard track out there. It's almost like concrete in the centre square. And the conditions, because it was later, it dipped below 30 degrees, but the humidity absolutely climbed throughout the game. So from about 70% humidity all the way up to 80, it was getting slipperier and slipperier as the game went on. So in the end, it was a pretty low-scoring affair. I think we only kicked 3 goals for the match. It was 27-49. We went down by 22. Once again, in the last quarter, we were within striking distance, but failed to close it out, and Palmerston were too good. We were pretty even in contested possessions and contested marks. We were two more ground balls, 20 more clearances. So probably not our strength, but we probably had our own there and won. But we got smashed in the off-ball stuff, which is sort of how we want to play. So they played like how we want to play. 23 more uncontested possessions and marks, 5 more handball receives and 5 more rebound 50. So, yeah, they played like how we want to play, really strong. Our skills were off as well, so we sort of invited their pressure. 7% less kicking efficiency, 8 more clangers, and that's probably our biggest issue at the moment. No goals from kick-in to either side, even in stoppages, but turnover, they absolutely cooked us. So 4 more goals from turnover, and that was the difference in the end. Over to the individual stats. Stevie Motlop, once again at the top, 23 touches, 2 goals, 5 clearances, 8 handballs at 100% efficiency. Doesn't miss them. 12 handball receives. Arbin, Nath, 10 Kateki possessions, 10 ground ball gets, 5 clearances, 5 inside 50s, 9 kicks at 90% efficiency. Weapon. Brody Newman, 6 marks, 3 spoils, 8 rebound 50s, 17 kicks, 3 Kentucky marks and 3 intercept marks. Knows how to take a clunk, the young fella. Daniel Wheatra, 6 marks, 3 spoils, joined Brody there as well. Tyra Louie with 6 marks. Tommy Boys with 4 tackles, contested beast. Tommy Motlop as well, sharing that, 4 tackles. Schillers with 3 Ford 50 marks. And Ash Buckland with 13 hitouts. So the Intersport Game Changer Award was Nathan Arbin. Really great game and starting to adjust to the NT conditions now. And debutants, Tommy Boys. So driven all the way up from WA with Berkey from the West Perth Falcons mob. They celebrated footy trip up in Darwin a couple of weeks ago, actually. But I heard they were secretly doing extras, working on their craft. And then that brought them to bringing everything up, 4,500 kilometres. Long way up. And unfortunately, Berkey did his hammy first session in, but they love their fishing. We'll actually get into a little bit of that later. So no injuries in the match, thank goodness. And over to the other matches, we had the reserves go down by 41 points, the women's down by 61, and the under-18s by 87. So not the best all round, but there's, I guess, plenty to work on. So at training, we had a strong week on the track, lots of touch work, because that seems to be our main issue. A bit of contest work as well. That's always fun, those competitive sort of drills. 8-day break, so we're all feeling great and looking forward to the challenge this week. Keep iPod Shuffle Night locked in the diary, round 8, Saturday 19th of October. We've got a home game at Tracy Village, and we're thinking about doing a raffle that day as well, raise a bit of money for the Movember cause. And Sarah's thinking the next week as well, that we do some kind of pageant sort of thing where people vote for their favourite mo. We can run another small little raffle to raise a bit of extra money, finish off the month, organise a prize potentially, and shave them off. So that's a great call from Sarah. We'll stay tuned for that. Now, so the Muck Muck Movember stuff, I guess we're all doing it to raise awareness. There's a couple of facts that definitely sort of shook me. So suicide is the leading cause of death among Aussie men aged 15 to 44, and testicular cancer is the most common cancer in young Aussie men. There's a whole lot of other stuff, I guess, about men's health, and that's why we're getting a whole bunch of us to grow our mo. So some people like me, you won't be able to tell probably by the end of the month, but at least we're giving it a crack. So we've got so far Adams, Arbin, Bates, Butson, Casemiro, Clee, Joel Cabillo, Dos Santos, Keelan Fijo, Friend, Fuller, Mansell, McLean, McMurray, a couple of Motlops, Brenton, Matthew and Stevie, Newman, Priest, myself, Toddem and Daniel Wheatra. So a couple of massive ins, and a good cause for the boys. Thanks so much to the donations from Courtney War, Justine Motlop, Jessica Chisone, Anna Lane, Tony Fuller, Ariana Enning, Jenny Collison. Keep it coming. Great stuff, guys. Now I'll cross over to the fines. We've got a couple of new additions. So the backs are sick of us forwards missing goals. So $2 fine for every behind, regardless of how close it is. Maybe more if it's closer. And the backs have accepted that $2 fine for if their forward kicks a goal on them, but no one's owned up. It's all zone defence, so no one's taken ownership here. So we'll see if we can improve that going forward. And we're happy for fines this month that go towards the Movember cause as well. So what have we got? We've got the coach. No one's immune from fines here at the Wanderers. So he had a gammon little selfie. So there's a fine. And he's got a good little video. It's actually a great cause, but it's just funny because Aaron's in there, so that's another one. Ankin, no Wanderers single at training. Ash, he's going to be getting a lot of fines, I reckon, this season. So he brought his airport bag to Palmerston. So he left his footy bag at home, and Palmerston, for anyone not in Darwin, it's a really long way away from home. So 20-minute drive. So got to go all the way back. Another one for Ash for getting his footy boots twice. Most recent one leaving at Palmerston. Another one trying to iron his shirt for a job interview with his hand. And then once that didn't work, he pinched Merv's shirt, the president, because the hand ironing didn't work. So classic. Brody, 2 out in the Fools, 2 separate fines. Fuller, another week goes by and another podcast episode not released. So there we go. Still talking a big game for the On the Palm podcast. Stay tuned for that. Chillers with a couple of behinds, fines there, and also spraying Jaden for a whole quarter, but calling him dry, so we had no idea that he was talking to him. Dre Thompson with a behind, Dilda Sanders with a behind. Gammon Story for the 1 year anniversary with the missus, so that's another fine, sorry Dil. But also $5 credit for lending me a phone. So I actually get a fine for breaking my phone, so I'm basically paying that one. Also on the radio, I was, so 1 for Perth, 91.3, and then 2 in Darwin, 1 at Hot 100 FM and 1 at 104.9 with Sarah. So they're 3 separate fines. Berkey ate all the goose at the shed on Saturday. There's a fine. And still haven't caught a fish yet. So they've been up here for a month. Love their fishing, go out pretty much every day, still have got nothing, and they pretty much catch themselves up here. Sebastian Priest had a birthday actually, so had a couple of drinks and a couple of gammon Facebook statuses, 3 individual fines there, and then also sending in the worst horse tips to the WhatsApp group. Absolutely no winners there, just giving the boys false hope. Jolie Cabillo, his son was obsessed with a big bull's ball sack when they went out hunting, and just had his hands on that all day. So that's the funny story, and a fine there. Junior Grant behind. Keelan Fijo for getting his Yeti bottle twice, and now we've also added another fine being a centrepiece of a Wanderers FC post. So Nathan Arbin, Stevie Motlop, both are on there. the main show, and Stevie also playing on straight into the man on the mark. That was a bit of a stitch up. Not sure what was happening there with the umpires, but that was funny. Not funny at the time, but funny now. Boise as well still hasn't caught a fish, so I lumped him in with Berkey, and a couple of those boys have already paid up, which is great. All right, back over to my, what do we call it? Not the fines, opposite of fines, the rest of the podcast. We've got a new segment, huge in the context. I'm calling it Muck Muck Multi, even though it's not a multi. That just kind of works. We've got from Schiller Beer a best bet and a value bet. So Saturday, 5th of November, today actually, we're heading to sunny Sydney. Beautiful weather, 23 degrees, and the track is a good 4. I have no idea what that means, but I'm going with it. So best bet, Rose Hill, race 7, number 1, Electric Girl. So that's our best bet. Now for the value bet. Heading to the Mercurial Melbourne. Beautiful weather as well, 22 degrees and sunny. The track is a great 4. Value bet, Flemington race 9, number 10, Picarones, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But remember, always bet responsibly, and only bet what you're willing to lose. Go Eagles. Thanks so much for that, Chillers. I think you would be better talking about that. So once I get the second mic, we'll fly you up, and you'll be hosting that segment. 100 Club, let me set the scene. Thursday, at the shed, $5, 2 numbers, 100 possible outcomes, and $100 for the taking. So keep coming to the shed on Thursdays for that. Number 58 wins back to back. Uncle Tony Fuller, 2 weeks in a row. And he's also donated to Movember, so that's good fortune there. So over to the ladder. On top, the team that beat us on 14 points, Palmerston Magpies. 12 points. We've got Nightcliff Tigers and Waratah Warriors. 10 points, Southern Districts Crocs and Darwin Buffaloes. 8 points, St Mary's. 6 points, Pint Green Ants. And on 4 points is us, the Eagles, and also Tiwi Bombers. So good opportunity to jump one spot up the ladder this week. Over to the ex-AFL watch, NT Footy with Jackson Clark. Magic Door made his debut for Tiwi, and former Essendon listed player Garrett McDonough made his NTFL debut for Waratah last night. So yeah, it's good to see such a strong competition, and it's cool playing against and with ex-AFL players. So match preview, round 6, we've got the Pint Green Ants. So it's Saturday, 5th of November at 7 p.m, DXC Arena. Now let me give you a little bit of shreducation to do with what's happening with the conditions here. So at 5 p.m, it's just about a couple hours before the game. We're at 33 degrees, 55% humidity, and 14 km/h winds. So now what's going to happen over the next couple of hours? We've got 8 p.m. We've got 30 degrees. Temperature's dropping a little bit. 68% humidity. The humidity's rising, and the wind, 10 km/h, is dropping. And then we continue this to 11 p.m, which will be about when the game's finishing. It dips below 30, just 29 degrees, 76% humidity. It just keeps rising, and the wind, it's getting more still, 6 km/h. So that tends to be what happens. It just gets slipperier and slipperier, and it's great fun. Maybe not as tall. It's a bit harder to mark, but it's always fun. And Dane is flying up this week, and he's great in these conditions, like one of those lizards that just run across the water. Awesome stuff. Previous result. So we've actually never played Pint before. This is their first year in the ones competition. So really excited to be playing them. They play a really direct game style. So they've got the lowest marks and disposal efficiency in the competition. So it just shows they just get the ball forward at whatever cost. Who cares about finding the perfect one? So it's a good brand of footy. They run hard, they hunt in packs, and they've got some seriously handy players. So the other Wanderers Footy Club games had the under 18s at 7 p.m. on the Friday night. They played the Tars, and leading us into the game, we've got the Twos at 3 p.m. on Saturday, the Women's at 5 p.m. on Saturday, and then us obviously at 7. So Who is our club legend? Well, I decided that because we're playing Pint, and I'm calling it the Shannon Motlop Cup, Wanderers v Pint, he'll be our legend, Wanderers legend this week. So he started in the 95-96 season, and he played over 100 senior games, over 20 seasons, so he's always returning home, and flying out of Mildura most seasons. So he generally just played half a dozen games, 6 to one, half a dozen to the other, just to qualify for finals, and then would obviously play finals if qualified, if the team made it. So great commitment, always returning home. He's a dual premiership player in the 10-11 premiership and the 14-15, and that first one being an 18-year drought-breaking team. He's got a trademark left foot cannon and NT representative captain for 2004, where they played against Western Bulldogs. Had a little chat with Shannon last night, and have a look at this run. So the 04-05, where Wanderers were runners-up in the GF, he was drafted to Melbourne, and they pulled him from the grand final, didn't let him play. 08-09, they were runners-up, and he was captain. 13-14, he missed the GF because of injured knees, tendinitis. 15-16, runners-up, and 16-17, he was suspended for a high hit, so he missed the GF. So 3 missed GFs, and he assures me if he was playing, they would all be flags. So huge call from Shannon, and pretty handy player, and he's a half-forward flanker, Wanderers team of the century. So good on Shannon. But hopefully this time, for this game, I know he's at Pint this week as the head coach, but hopefully we get the chocolates. To close out, we've got our Eagle quote. It's one for when times are tough. You know, we're only 1 win from 4 games. We should be doing better. We feel like we should be higher. And this is one from Abdul Kalam. All birds find shelter during the rain, but eagles avoid the rain by flying above the clouds. Problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Have a great week. Take care, and go the Eagles.
If you are a Wanderers boy, then sing along with me. We are the Eagles on the road to victory. All for one and one for all, we'll answer to the call. We're the greatest team of all. Go the Wanderers forever. We will always stick together. We will always do our best to see